Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learn back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Chiron Sextile, or Trine, one's natal south node. Now, this transit could manifest in physical and emotional wounds, helping and healing others, depleted self-esteem, being in harmony with what you're going away from, what you're leaving behind in the past. And I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. This is not about, having better self-worth, you know, in connection with those things that were left behind, but because you're leaving something behind that may be affecting you to your detriment, that's where the self-worth, the really depleted self-worth, may be healed, during this time. It's not so much where people from your past that are prominent in your past are going to, are in favor of emotional wounds or physical and emotional related wounds, but this is where those people can be beneficial to that. And this is a time to, keep in mind, okay, the transit of Chiron doesn't supplant or replace your natal Chiron placement. The natal Chiron placement is with you for the duration and the entirety of your life. The transit of Chiron can be beneficial. In this case, a sextile, a trine aspect, can be beneficial and advantageous to you during the time of the transit. And it's a time as well, some of you may wonder, well, what is the difference between this transit and the conjunction transit of Chiron? Well, the thing about it is, okay, sextile and trine aspects, those are auspicious aspects. Those are positive and flowing aspects. It forms a good relationship, in this case, between the transit of Chiron and the natal south node placement. Now, when you have the conjunction, now the conjunction can be, conjunctions are neutral aspects, so they could have good and bad qualities. Conjunctions can be very intensifying, integrating, amalgamating. It's a strong concentration of energy. And when you have this transit of Chiron, say if it's making a conjunction to the natal south node, in some cases it could be something that you need to get away from, or something that's affecting you adversely in your life, maybe causing emotional or physical and or emotional suffering, or there's something as well, it could be where you could be so another way that transit could manifest with the conjunction is that you could be so obsessed with leaving behind maybe some kind of physical or emotional pain or suffering, where it can be to the point of the exclusion of other things, where you become oblivious to other things in your life. It can, conjunctions can have good and bad aspects in it, and qualities in it, but the sextile and trine is more about a positive but generally auspicious aspect. Now, going back as far as this transit goes, it's also a time where help what you're doing in terms of helping and healing others. It's a time where people that were prominent in your past, they may be beneficial to that at this time. Say if the transit Chiron is in Taurus, it could be helping people with monetary issues, matters with self-worth, being able to persevere, being more persistent, with matters. Now, during the time, that at the time of making this video, okay, transit Chiron is in Aries, and many people, collectively, may be experiencing, it could be issues of identity, feelings of just general unworthiness, where their place is in this world. It could be issues connected with leadership, assertiveness, fortitude, courage, just generally taking action. And it's a time where people that again are prominent in one's past could be beneficial to that. It could be a time where when you have this transit, it can be also time with the south node. It can also be connected with our our built-in qualities and our what we do, what we could be naturally proficient in, and those things can aid the transit If Chiron, if the South Node is, because you're having a good relationship aspect between the transit of Chiron and the natal South Node. So say if your natal South Node is in Aquarius, it could be doing things, that are ingenious or innovative, or being able to show others, ways of doing things that may be unorthodox, which may make you stand out and be kind of, be a leader in your own right, you know. Um, it could be a time, when this transit does take place. It's also, it's just could be a generally, just positive or auspicious transit for really being able to help and heal others, again, through those things that you may be, naturally adept in. If you have your natal South Node in Gemini, it could be just through eloquence, helping people communicate better, um, diversifying. It can be a time, the Chiron itself, is the wounded healer. It reflects, suffering you may be going through, but it can reflect, what you can do for others, the ways you can help others out, in which you're inept in helping yourself out. Um, and again, when you have the transit Chiron, you're collecting right now at the time of the video that I'm making. It's transit Chiron is in Aries, and the thing about, the quality of courage and fortitude, it can be there where you could push others, to be more courageous, to stand up for their beliefs. And it's a time where you might have difficulty, in helping, yourself at this time in those same matters. It can be a time where you can encourage people that were prominent in your past to be able to do. And to really show those, that energy to others, to be able to encourage others, and to do what's in connection with the transit Chiron. It can also be a time, you keep in mind that the natal South Node can also be, redundant, overdeveloped and redundant qualities. If the natal South Node is in Aquarius, it could be very, idiosyncratic, rebellious behavior. It could be just very non-conforming behavior, doing things, different, just for the sake, of being, different. Doesn't mean you're going to be, someone's going to be climbing the walls like Spider-Man with suction cups on their hands or something like that, or, trying to ride a bicycle on, a pebble road. But it can be very redundant energy, and it's a time where, where maybe there could be some healing in this. Where transit Chiron could be about healers, connected with healers, people that are spiritual. If you are a spiritual person, it can be a time, by getting in contact with those people, might help you with the very, the overdeveloped or redundant qualities of the South Node placement. If the natal South Node is in Virgo, say, it can be, very cynical or judgmental, critical qualities, even hypochondriac tendencies. That word may not be used now. You may want to confer on the internet and see if that word applies, but you understand what I'm saying. Another thing too is that, one way this could, another way that this could manifest and pan out, it can be positive for helping and healing, which is Chiron. It could be others, again, through what one may be naturally proficient, which is the South Node. And if the natal South Node is in Capricorn, say, it could be, with some things connected with structure, helping others become more disciplined, responsible, developing business acumen, being more consistent, as some examples. And issues with depleted self-esteem, which is Chiron, may be dealt with by going away from, which is the South Node, something that could be affecting one to their detriment. And if the South Node is in the zodiac sign Cancer, say, it can be maybe exceptionally introverted tendencies. It could be doing, maybe being overly clinging, overly sensitive, to criticism, um, and ridicule at this time. And also, hold on a moment, people. Anyway, well, it can also be a time where this could be propitious to deal with suffering, which is Chiron, but being assisted by people that were prominent in your past, which is the South Node. If, let's say, if the transit Chiron is in Libra, it could be dealing with, or I'm sorry, if it's in Libra in the 7th house, it could be reconciliation or peace, which is Libra, with an open adversary or significant other, which is the 7th house. And it's just a very good period to deal, again, to be dealing with, helping others from your past, that might be going through, some suffering, at this point, and also getting help from those people to deal with, any current suffering, whether it's of an emotional or physical nature. At the time of this video, transit Chiron is in Aries, so you may have a number of people dealing with issues, associated with headaches, issues with the head, or the skull, or even the brain, even at this time. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Lerner saying stay well.